This is not an accident. You did not click on this by chance. Something inside you, something quiet and old, told you to stop scrolling. Right here. Right now. And if your heart is still a little unsettled, if there's a small ache in your chest you can't quite explain, that's not confusion. That's recognition. Somewhere deep inside you, a part of you already knows what I'm about to say. Fate just remembered a promise made about you. Not a promise you signed. Not a promise you can find written anywhere. A promise made in a place before words, before time, before you even knew your own name. And today, of all days, that promise woke up. Take a breath. Just one. Because what you're about to hear may feel like it was written only for you. You may not realize it, but you have been carrying something heavy for a long time. Not just tiredness. Not just stress. Something quieter than that. A feeling of being forgotten. A feeling of waiting for a door that never seems to open. You have wondered, more than once, if you were somehow left out of the plan. If everyone else got their reunion, their breakthrough, their miracle, and you were simply skipped. You were not skipped. What if everything you've been through, every disappointment, every silence, every closed door, every person who walked away, was never the end of your story? What if it was the setup? Every great story has a moment where the character feels forgotten right before everything changes. You are standing in that moment right now. Someone, somewhere, has been thinking about you. Not in passing. Not by coincidence. But in a way that feels heavier than memory. There is a person, a presence, a destiny thread that has been quietly pulling toward you this entire time, even when you couldn't see it, even when you gave up believing in it. And this video found you today because that thread just pulled tighter. Let that sit with you for a moment. Because what comes next may change the way you see your entire life. Why did this message find you today, and not last month, not last year, not 5 years ago when you needed it the most? Why now? Timing is never random. You already sense that, even if you've never said it out loud. There were days you almost gave up. Nights you lay awake wondering if you were meant to walk this path alone forever. And yet, somehow, you kept going. Something inside you refused to fully let go, even when logic told you to. That refusal wasn't stubbornness. That was your soul remembering something your mind had forgotten. You were being prepared. Every person who left had to leave so someone else could arrive. Every door that closed had to close so a different one could open at the right time, not a moment before. You didn't fail those years. You survived them. And survival, quiet and unnoticed, is what makes a person ready for what's coming. Somewhere, right now, a stranger is going through their own quiet turning point. A stranger who has been wrestling with doubt, wondering if faith is even worth holding on to anymore. And something about the way life is moving, something about a decision they're about to make, is connected to you in ways neither of you fully understand yet. You may be asking, who is this person? A soulmate? A person from your past? Someone you haven't met yet? The truth is more mysterious than any single answer. Sometimes it is someone you already know, someone whose face flashes in your mind uninvited. Sometimes it is someone still being prepared, walking toward you from a direction you can't yet see. But one thing is certain. This connection is not imaginary. It is not wishful thinking. It is being shaped, quietly, behind the scenes of your life. And behind those scenes, things have already started to move. You may not see it yet, but there are signs happening right now, in this very moment, that you cannot see with your eyes. A person's thoughts drifting toward you without warning. A conversation happening somewhere that mentions your name, or a memory of you, without you ever knowing. A decision being reconsidered. A silence that isn't rejection, but reflection. The silence was never rejection. You have to hear that again, because it matters more than almost anything else in this message. When someone goes quiet, when a person disappears from your life without explanation, when a dream seems to freeze in place, your mind tells you it's over. But silence in the unseen world often means something is being rearranged. It means timing is being adjusted so that when it finally happens, it happens correctly, not too soon, not by force, but exactly when both hearts are ready. Your angels, your guides, whatever you choose to call the quiet forces working on your behalf, have been busy. Not loud. Not obvious. But busy. Moving circumstances a few degrees at a time. Placing certain people in certain rooms. Delaying certain outcomes so they don't arrive broken. Preparing certain hearts so they arrive soft instead of guarded. You have felt this, haven't you? A strange calm in the middle of chaos. A gut feeling that something is shifting even though nothing visible has changed. That feeling is real. It is not your imagination working overtime. It is your spirit picking up on movement your eyes can't yet confirm. And this is where divine timing enters the story. Divine timing is not about waiting passively and hoping something falls into your lap. It is the quiet intelligence behind every delay you've ever experienced. It is the reason a text didn't come when you wanted it to, but arrived exactly when you needed it. It is the reason a job didn't open when you applied, but showed up right when you were finally strong enough to handle it. It is the reason love didn't arrive when you were desperate for it, but instead is arriving now, when you are becoming someone capable of receiving it. Ask yourself honestly. Are you the same person you were 2 years ago? 1 year ago? Even 6 months ago? You are not. You have softened in some places and grown strong in others. You have learned to sit with pain instead of running from it. You have learned which voices to trust and which ones were never worth your energy. That transformation was not wasted time. It was preparation disguised as struggle. Why did the delays have to happen? Why couldn't this simply have arrived sooner, sparing you the loneliness, the confusion, the nights you questioned everything? Because some things cannot survive an unprepared heart. If everything you're hoping for had arrived too early, before you healed, before you learned your worth, before you stopped settling for less than you deserve, it would have crumbled. Not because it wasn't real, but because you weren't ready to hold something real yet. The delay wasn't punishment. It was protection. It gave you time to become the version of yourself who could finally recognize the right thing when it showed up, instead of mistaking something familiar for something meant. So if you're still waiting, if today still feels uncertain, understand this. You are not being punished. You are being finished. Like a painting that isn't ready to be shown until the final brushstroke, you are in your final brushstrokes right now. And something is changing. Right now. In this very hour. Somewhere, a decision is quietly reversing. A hesitation that has lasted for weeks or months or even years is beginning to loosen. A heart that has been guarded, closed off, protecting itself from being hurt again, is starting to soften in a way it hasn't allowed itself to in a long time. You may not receive proof of this today. But proof is not required for something to be true. Roots grow underground long before anyone sees the tree. There is a stranger out there today choosing faith over doubt because something inside them, something they can't fully explain, told them not to give up. And in ways too complex to fully map out, that choice is connected to your story. Maybe it's someone stepping back into their own faith so they can eventually step toward you with a whole heart instead of a broken one. Maybe it's someone letting go of fear so they can finally recognize you when you cross paths. Maybe it's you. Maybe today, you are the stranger choosing faith over doubt. Either way, the shift is happening. You may feel it as a strange lightness in your chest, or an unexpected sense of peace where there used to be anxiety. You may notice you're thinking less about the past and more about what's ahead. You may catch yourself smiling for no clear reason. These small changes are not random. They are signals. Quiet evidence that beneath the surface of your ordinary day, something extraordinary is being finalized. Let yourself feel encouraged for a moment. Not falsely hopeful, not naive, but genuinely encouraged. You have survived every difficult season that once felt impossible to survive. Every heartbreak you thought would break you completely, you carried through anyway. That is not luck. That is strength you were building the entire time, even when you couldn't feel it happening. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. There is no timeline you failed to meet. Comparison has lied to you more than once, whispering that everyone around you is further along, more loved, more chosen. But your story was never meant to look like anyone else's. What is coming for you was designed specifically for you, shaped by your specific pain, your specific growth, your specific waiting. No one else could receive it the way you're about to receive it, because no one else walked your exact road to get here. Picture, just for a moment, the reunion or the breakthrough that's coming. Not with desperation, but with quiet hope. Imagine the relief of finally understanding why things happened the way they did. Imagine looking back at this season, at this very video, and realizing this was the moment things started turning. Imagine a conversation, a message, a meeting, or simply an inner peace so deep it feels like coming home after being lost for years. You don't need to know the exact form it will take. What matters is trusting that the delay had a purpose, and that purpose is nearly complete. There will be a day when everything makes sense. The waiting, the silence, the heartbreak, the confusion, the moments you almost gave up. It will all fold neatly into a story that finally has meaning. And you will look back and whisper, "So that's why it happened that way." Until that day arrives, hold on to peace instead of pressure. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Trust does not mean everything will happen exactly the way you imagine. It means trusting that what does happen will be better suited for who you are becoming, not who you used to be. If this message spoke to your heart, if something in your chest tightened just slightly while listening, take a moment and write, "I trust divine timing," in the comments. Let it be a quiet declaration between you and whatever unseen force has been guiding you this whole time. As we come to the end of this message, breathe a little slower. You made it here for a reason. Whatever you've been carrying, whatever fear has whispered that you're too late or too broken or too forgotten, let it go, even if just for tonight. You are not alone. You have never been alone, not even in your quietest, most hopeless moments. Something has been working on your behalf the entire time, patiently, silently, lovingly, preparing a moment you cannot yet fully see but are already beginning to feel. Fate remembered its promise. And so did you, the moment you chose to keep listening instead of walking away. Let peace settle over you now. Let gratitude replace worry, even briefly. You are exactly where you need to be, in the exact moment you were always meant to arrive at. What's coming next in your story is already being written, and it is far kinder than the chapter you've been living through. Hold on to hope a little longer. It hasn't failed you yet.